Pharaoh's cruelty made God furious, so God hit Egypt with 10 plagues. The first plague was that the Nile turned to blood. All the fish died, and the whole river started to stink. Pharaoh called in his high priests to do magic, but their spells were useless against God's power. As the blood spread, plants started to rot from the roots. People began praying to their gods, but then came the second plague. Millions of frogs crawled out of the bloody river. They didn't just attack people, they covered the streets, and even ended up in Pharaoh's own bed. The queen screamed in fear, begging Pharaoh to do something, but he shrugged it off, saying they're just frogs. The dead frogs rotted and got covered in maggots, and soon massive swarms of flies appeared. Food got contaminated. Even fire couldn't drive the flies away. People had to cover their faces and hide indoors, and if someone had a cut or wound, the flies would swarm all over them. Pharaoh turned to his advisor for help, but he just said, it's a natural cycle. The flies will die eventually. Meanwhile, Pharaoh's face broke out in rashes, the people were covered in sores, and even the queen wasn't spared. Then, a soldier brought in a white horse. Written in blood on its side were the words, "This is a warning from God. If you keep mistreating the slaves, worse will come." But Pharaoh didn't care. He got even harsher. He doubled the slaves' workload and took away their rest time, forcing them to work from dawn to late at night. Many Hebrew slaves died from exhaustion. Moses couldn't take it anymore. He asked God to stop, saying innocent people were suffering. But God didn't listen. The plagues kept coming. Animals started dying from disease. None of Pharaoh's prized horses or the farmers' cattle were spared. His advisor said it was caused by the dead flies, but Pharaoh didn't want to hear it. In a rage, he had him executed. Then the high priest said he had prayed to the Egyptian gods but got no response, so Pharaoh had him executed too. But none of it stopped what came next. The sky turned dark, and giant hailstones the size of fists came crashing down, smashing all the crops. Pharaoh looked up at the sky, full of anger, but his rage only invited even greater destruction.